is now my pleasure to introduce our keynote for this evening, Dr. Julie Freischlag, Vice Chancellor for Human Health Services and Dean of the School of Medicine at UC Davis. Vice Chancellor Freischlag oversees the UC Davis Medical School and the health system's academic, research, and clinical programs. The UC Davis School of Medicine and Health System is a major contributor to the healthcare and economy of the Sacramento region. And it is a center for biomedical discoveries that help advance health around the world. Dr. Freischlag received a bachelor's degree in biology from the University of Illinois and a medical degree from Rush University Medical College in Chicago. She completed her surgical residency and vascular surgery fellowship at the David Geffen School of Medicine at UCLA. Prior to joining UC Davis, she served as professor, chair of the surgery department, and surgeon-in-chief at Johns Hopkins Medical Institutions. Among her many contributions, Dr. Freischlag serves as an excellent role model for students, a highly respected colleague, an influential community leader, and a national voice for improving health and healthcare. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished speaker, Dr. Julie Freischlag.
Well, good evening, and I'm so pleased to be here today to welcome you, the UC Riverside School of Medicine class of 2020. We just had our white coat ceremony last week at UC Davis, and somehow 2020 just has got a ring to it. You got the best year to do that. There's many things out there you'll read that's supposed to be happening by 2020. The whole world's going to be fabulous by then, and I know you will make that happen too. I want to thank Dean Deborah Dees for inviting me here to celebrate with you. I met her at her previous institution a few years ago, and little did we know, a few years later, here we be, and it's just my delight to bring Northern California down to Southern California. We work together as a group of deans now for the UC system, and so I am so glad she joined our team. Today is just such an exciting beginning as each of you are going to become a physician. All the opportunities, all the responsibilities that this rewarding career entails. I want to start off by sharing a quote with you from Sir William Osler, one of the 4 founding fathers of Johns Hopkins. To quote him, "The practice of medicine is an art, a calling, not a business. A calling in which your heart will be exercised equally with your head. A calling which extracts from you at every turn self-sacrifice, devotion, love, and tenderness for your fellow man. This calling is an enormous responsibility that you take for others and for yourself. Throughout medical school, you will learn skills and techniques to treat disease and injuries. You will call upon your heart to demonstrate care and compassion, not only for your patients, but also for your colleagues, your staff, and your communities. I know that Dean Dees and the faculty have big expectations for you here at UC Riverside, and your campus community will provide lots of assistance. Your deans, your administrators, your faculty members are here today, along with many others, to show their support for you to be successful. Over the next 4 years, they will share their expertise to help you learn the facts and the skills that are essential to becoming a great doctor. They will teach you the fundamental values of medicine, as well as the art and science of caring, and they will teach you that being a physician is not only an art, but it's a profession, one involving knowledge as distinguished from mere skill. And you will learn from them the highest standards of professionalism, and they include personal responsibility, capacity for self-improvement, relationships with your patients, and relationships with the healthcare team and environment. These will be 4 years of very hard work and of sacrifice, not only for you, but for your families who will be by your sides on this journey. You were selected because UC Riverside School of Medicine is confident that you will not only be great students, but more important, you will be great physicians. Everyone here believes in you, your passion, and your potential. Students, you have chosen a very rewarding yet challenging career path. And today is just the beginning of that wonderful and complex journey. As with any journey, it's important to pack the right tools for the road. And I want to share a few key essentials that will make your time in medical school satisfying and enjoyable, and it will just fly by like you didn't notice. When you think back to when you were a medical student, we did not have a white coat ceremony, but I do remember starting my medical school career. Yes, in 1976. You weren't born yet, you don't have to tell me that later, but there we were. So the first thing is you need to get and stay connected. Get and stay connected. Never stop looking for opportunities to network and develop professional relationships with your faculty, residents, nurses, and staff. That's why all of us love academic medicine, for all the people we get to know and talk to about our patients, our careers, our research. It builds this invaluable community that can endure long after you graduate. Second, find mentors and build authentic relationships with them. You probably already have done that in order to get here today, but you're going to need more of them. You're going to need them everywhere. You're going to need them every step of the way. I can remember back to my two mentors in medical school, Dr. Stephen Economo, who died just a few years ago, but he was the first one that said I could be a surgeon. I was on his service. I was going to be a pediatrician, and I found out I was a really good surgeon, and he said, you can do it. And Tom Witt, who was that chief resident that knew everything. I wanted to be him, and they told me I could. At that time, in the late 70s, I knew I'd be part of a very small pool of women pursuing surgery, but somehow that didn't matter one bit to them. I wanted to be a surgeon, I was willing to do it, and off I went. Many female surgery students in our current country had barriers to jump over at that time, and I certainly had my share, and if you go on the YouTubes, you can hear me talk about them, but my mentors did not seem to notice. And I was female, or it didn't really matter as long as I wanted to do it. They were wonderful supporters and helped drive me to the career I love. So I hope you too will cultivate and nurture similar relationships that will help guide you towards a successful career, because you can do anything you want. And don't forget to give back. Look for opportunities to mentor others, those behind you, your peers coming up, the next year's class, 2021. We all need champions, and helping others is so rewarding. And third, keep an open mind. Flexibility is the key to success in all of medicine in the next few years. And when I started in Rush Medical School in Chicago, as I said, I was going to be a pediatrician, but I love surgery. I got on it, I did it first to get it out of the way, and it changed my life. I remember the patients I took care of. I remember the cases I scrubbed on. I remember every piece of it. And 30 years later, I'm still a surgeon. And then lastly, just be a good person. I have a plaque in my office that says, because nice matters, and you should live by that. Throughout medical school, you'll learn how important kindness and compassion are for our patients, and these traits should extend to each other, too, and to your faculties, nurses, and staff. How do you do that? How do you be nice and kind? Listen more than talk. And for those of us who talk, it's really hard to do that, but you can learn. Do more than what's expected. Keep a good sense of humor. Praise your peers more than yourself. Look for opportunities to collaborate with your classmates, maybe on classwork, maybe on outside things, but hang with your classmates. They're going to get you through. The journey to a medical degree is greatly enhanced when you support each other. Teamwork, that's what goes on in hospitals now, goes on in clinics. Listen to each other and lean on each other. It's easier to face challenges when you know you have others on your side, when you know someone has your back, and you know someone will successfully celebrate with you. It's so rewarding. Medical school is not a cakewalk. We have lots of stories of how much fun it is, but it's a lot of work. And you'll be tested over the next few years, perhaps more than you ever had to get here, and you thought it was pretty tough to get here in the first place. And I know my parents, who were not doctors, wondered what I was spending all this time doing in medical school. My dad now, who was 88, got a call from him at his cardiologist's office today. Luckily, everything was fine. He sees a doctor at Emory in Atlanta. I still don't think he knows what I do as a dean and vice chancellor. He goes, "What are you doing in Riverside? Don't you live in Sacramento?" So your family may not always understand exactly what you're doing. So share a few great stories about your colleagues or your friends or your patients so they understand how you're spending your time. And every time you're challenged, that's a gift. That's a gift to make you better and put you in the middle of some change. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, bad times have scientific value. These are occasions a good learner would not miss. And finally, one of the new hashtags that we're using this year for our strategic plan is #OwnIt. You gotta own all parts of this. You have to go forward in this new educational experience with your full heart and your gusto. You have to own your achievements, but you're gonna have to own your failures too. And as I stand here, I remember many patients I've helped, but I remember many patients that we didn't quite do as well. You have to be passionate, you have to be inquisitive, you have to be bold. The author Jodi Picoult wrote, "I wondered about the explorers who sailed their ship to the end of the world. How terrified they must have been when they risked falling over the edge. How amazed to discover, instead, places they'd only seen in their dreams." And you will feel sometimes there's a cliff, but you're going to find something amazing on the other side. Your future patients will need you to be these explorers who will sail ships to the end of the earth for discovery, for a new treatment, for a new cure. They need healthcare professionals who will step forward when confronted with challenges, who will raise their hands and say, "I will work really hard for you. I will own it." Your future patients will need you to speak up and also know when it's best to quietly listen. Soon you will learn the art of using a stethoscope, the most recognized icon of the medical profession. It embodies the key to the practice of medicine, combining science, technology, and skill of listening to patients. It represents closeness, connectedness to your patient. And no matter what new diagnostic devices emerged in your career, and we've seen many, never lose that touch. One of my mentors, who was a surgeon, had to have a liver transplant because he contracted hepatitis C as a surgeon. And he said one thing that was so sad when he was in the hospital is that no one touched him. That they came in, he was immunosuppressed, liver transplant, big-time surgeon, No one sat down on the bed and held his hand and touched him. He really felt that was the one part of his treatment he missed. And if you haven't already, I would encourage you to read The Care of the Patient, an essay published in the Journal of the American Medical Association by the late Harvard Medical School professor Francis Well Peabody. Though his thoughts were shared nearly a century ago, I would argue that they are relevant today. Perhaps even more so given our reliance on technology and the many changes in our healthcare delivery systems. Peabody said, "One of the essential qualities of the clinician is interest in humanity. For the secret of the care of the patient is in the caring for the patient." So my hope and expectation for each of you is that you will take this interest in humanity to lead the change to improve health. And I believe you can do it. Today is your first step to becoming a leader in global health community for the 21st century. And I look forward to seeing impressive accomplishments from the UC Riverside School of Medicine class of 2020. And again, congratulations to all of you.
Good evening. My name is Paul Lyons, and I'm the Senior Associate Dean for Medical Education. I am not sure that I can explain to your father what a dean does either, but on behalf of the UCR School of Medicine in the class of 2020, we would like to thank you for sharing a piece of what you do and joining us this evening for this very special occasion. And as a token of our appreciation, we have a present for you. Although you are the class of 2020, it's possible that you can't read the inscription from where you're sitting, and so I will read it for you. For your insightful presentation to the class of 2020 and your support of California's newest medical school, we present this commemorative white coat as a symbol